Welcome once again to our virtual conference entitled The Remake for New Times. Please welcome our moderator, the CEO of YNS 1847, a sought-after hotel guru, Mr. Merrill Yu.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Thank you very much for spending your early afternoon with us. We're in certainly for a very big treat today. Today we have Chef Chele Gonzalez who's with us, who has a wonderful story. I mean, he's from Spain, obviously, but he, little known fact is that he also studied in the United States in the West Coast. He studied psychology and marketing, and then eventually moved into food with famous restaurants, world famous restaurants as El Bulli and Noma. And eventually his journey took him home to here in Manila, where he's established roots. In fact, he's married a Filipina, and they've been living here together, certainly for quite a while, certainly over a decade. His journey with his first restaurant on his own awarded him as being, and his group and his team being, the only Filipino restaurant to be named on the very prestigious Asia's Top 50 Restaurants in position number 39 in 2016. And you know what? As if that wasn't good enough, the following year, they moved up from number 39 to number 35. Chele, in addition to falling in love and establishing roots in the Philippines, has always taken a very keen interest in the history of food, ingredients, and he plays with it all the time. And that is really, I'll leave it at that for now, but it's an honor, a pleasure, and a treat to have Chele with us this afternoon. And without further ado, Chele, Chef, I leave it to you.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Merrill, to invite me and to be part of this beautiful event. Yes, you are right. I get in love with the Philippines and with my wife, who is Filipino as well. So yes, this is my home. This is my life. Even the pandemic, when you were thinking, should I stay? Should I go back home? This is our home. I will feel more comfortable here. So here we are, talking about what happened in all of this time, and we want to share with you, all of you guys, that what it had been happening in my mind. That is a little bit crazy, but very innovative always. I have prepared a presentation that it will give you a little bit background of the Remake for New Times. I'm going to do a small brief of what is Gallery by Chele and who I am as well. So I think the best way always is a video, an introduction, where it will be a lot of image, and make it better understand who and what we do.
Questions. I keep questioning why I'm in the Philippines. What am I doing here? What am I creating? Definitely, to come to the Philippines, it was the most unexpected thing I think is going to happen in my life. My personality as Chele Gonzalez, as a chef and as a cook, is a traveler and an adventurer. That's the reason I'm in the Philippines. And that is the reason I cook the way I cook. And I think every single trip that I do, I get knowledge, and my food, it becomes better. I was working with a friend who came to visit me and help me in the restaurant. Her name is Julieta Caruso, and we decided to travel 40 days around the Philippines, going to different provinces and regions to try to look for what the country can offer. And it was amazing. It was something else. After that trip, we decided to make a menu that is 95% of local endemic Filipino ingredients.
Chele en Filipinas, lógicamente, está haciendo un trabajo tremendo de descubrir lo que la gente tiene ahí y a veces no le da valor, no le da sentido. Ese trabajo de enseñar al mundo con mucho respeto y además como colaborando, yo creo que es la de las cosas más bonitas que pueden ocurrir. De hecho, necesitamos gente así. El mundo necesita gente así.
In all of the trips, the first thing that I was looking it was for ingredients. How come a chef who can 14,000 kilometers from home is going to work everything imported? Because we don't need anything else. Everything is here. I want to bring my values. I want to bring what I believe. Why do I want to copy why I don't create? 20 years ago, before I became a chef, I was a disaster. I was a DJ at that time. I loved to spring. It was so creative. And it's so much things in common between music and the food. It's the same soul, it's the same creativity, it's the same passion that I have.
If this is how my job is going to be like, I'm on board. I like what we do here. Going beyond the kitchen walls just to find out what is out there, just to find out what we can do to make food better. From there, I've been learning more about seafood, what is sustainable, what we can and cannot do to save our oceans.
Definitely something is happening in the Philippines. It's a small revolution. People is really appreciating and giving honor and value of what they have here. And I'm happy, to be part also of this movement and to try to push and put Filipino food in the next level.
Okay. Let's go to the. I'm having trouble to move. Hold on a second. Okay, so Gallery Bus is where everything started. It was art gallery. At the same time, it was a restaurant, only for 20 seats. It was, I think at that time, because we are talking 8 years ago when we started to do all of this, it was maybe a small disconnection with the Filipino market and whatever happened. So in 2018, 2 years ago, we decided to evolve. After 5 years, we make a renovation and we were trying to find a spot in something between fine dining and casual dining. We make the restaurant all, good, very craft. As you can see in the video, something that really connect what we were trying to do and visit. All of, for example, furnitures are from Kenneth Cobompue and is inspired in Filipino culture. Even that we don't recognize ourselves as a Filipino restaurant because obviously I'm not Filipino, but the rest of my team is Filipino and we get immersed in the beautiful things that are happening in this country, as you can see in the video as well. We make a partition because we identified that we have two kinds of clients. Ones that they want something more casual, go to the bar, be with friends, be noisy, drink a lot. That's why the bar is very important part of that. And then that have partition, and then we have another part that is more for intimate testing menus. And people was looking for a journey. At this point, I was really happy before the pandemic because during these 6 years I was working, I can see that the market about culinary and food, it was evolving so much. People, it was looking for experience. They wanted a journey. They were willing to spend. And I was really fascinated and motivated because, I was able to see over the 10 years how things were changing. In all of this process, we did one of my dreams, that is have a test kitchen where we have all kinds of tools, where we do a lot of R&D, and where we are going to do, I will explain later what is going to happen because this concept. We do also a lot of consultancies, a lot of development menu, products, or anything. We did also one of my dreams, that is have an urban garden in the middle of the city, where we try to be more sustainable. All of the vegetable waste, we produce compost to go inside of these drums, and now it looks like a jungle. Then this is the test kitchen. This is some of the collaborations we used to do before the COVID. We always bring chefs from all over the world. Some of the best chefs in the world having cooking in Manila, in our restaurant, Virgilio, Narisawa, Andoni, Arzak, and so on. So when this kind of events was possible to be done, now, as we know, it's not possible. And then, our testing menu was a journey of exploration, a journey of everything that you have been seeing in the video. But COVID happened. So now what? What are we going to do? And that it was the first thing that came up with my mind. The first step, it was quite weird. I'm a very active person. Meryl knows me. My mind is never stopped. So keep me at home for a month and a half. It was depressing. I feel anxiety, panic attacks, because this, I couldn't be enclosed. My mind doesn't work that way. So first thing that to be kind of alive and reactivated, it was Chef Carlos, my partner, who have been with me for the whole journey, 10 years. We started to work together in Shangri-La, Boracay. And then we start now to, he have been part of everything. Him, my wife, his girlfriend, and one student we have from Spain, we started to get in social and solidarity cooking from frontliners for poor communities. And we were doing that for around 1.5 months to 2 months. We were cooking around 500 meals every week. But of course, the business came. Numbers, we were giving a salary to all of our staff during that time, but numbers start to see, cash flow start to be low. So we need to do something about it. So what changed in the restaurant? It was very uncertain. Nobody knows what is going to happen. Any question, it will be answered right away. It was a challenge, it's like, especially for restaurants. We know that the customer behavior is going to change, and you need to be control expenses, be increasing sensitivity in the way you do business. Business now are doing different than before. I can see, how many restaurants and outlets are still alive with no almost revenue, control the cost. So reopen on the restaurant for business, we had to think on ways to earn revenue and continue. We need to make money somehow. This is a very important thing that I would like to tell you guys today, is analyze yourself. You need to deep interiorize and say, okay, what is my strengths and what is my weakness? What is my personality? This will give you the answer to start to make the big plan, okay? Plan it and strategy for all the programs that we will implement. Believe me or not, we are doing quite well. Numbers are positive. Last month, we were almost 85% of our normal revenue. Actually, it was a bad month. Let's say that our worst month is always April or September, when it's people out to Manila. So it was like a bad month. So, and numbers, it was positive because we were controlling the expenses. But everything that has been happening in the last few months, I visualize in a big plan. So, okay, so let's make, what is going to happen and what do we think will happen? We might be right, we might be wrong. So looking into the future, having first building the big plan, and then the next one, it will be the baby steps. I will explain now. So this is a small quote that I put here. Sorry. And I cannot read it because I have the screen cutting up. But even with the challenges brought, we need to always keep going, no? With our standards, with our approachable personality, and still connect with the brand even we are in the pandemic. Always keep a positive mind and always try to find opportunities. If we think negative things will happen to us. If we don't see opportunities, any business will happen, okay? This is the way it is. It's true, sometimes it's very difficult to see positives in all of this situation, but we need to wake up every morning and we try to see and be positive and try to keep fighting. That is the only way. So strategies, achieving a small objective after the other, baby steps, okay? So if you have a big plan, you need to start in some point and you need to go baby steps. Okay, maybe one don't work. Okay, let's go with the next one. This one doesn't work. Oh, yes, it doesn't work. Okay, let's go to the next one. In our case, we know that if we open the restaurant right away, with all of the expenses that we have, we will be dying. We would rather to be closed than to open and have all the expenses. So what we did, okay, let's build first the delivery menu, okay? The delivery menu, we make it in two ways. One, it was the Gallery by Chele, a la carte, with all of these QR codes and food to be ready to cook, very cool, very Instagrammable. And then we did, the Spanish menu, my Spanish signature. This is I cook at home, family recipes, something that I feel, soulful, something that we know people will like it because it's you, your soul is there. It's nothing, it's the food that you eat and you grow up, nobody can take you that. We knew that it's part of the market, especially the wealthy people, that they will feel probably engaged, with that kind of menu. And it was exactly what happened. People was ordering the Spanish menu. It was very successful, but the a la carte Spanish delivery for ready to cook, that it was super cool, super Instagrammable. We spent so much time doing the videos for the tutorials. It didn't work. Our clients, they wanted the food to be ready and to be cooked. Just open the container and voila, food was there. So this was, again, baby steps. Okay, what is the direction? Let's put both menu and then we only keep one. That it was the Spanish menu for delivery. Then, we spent quite money in marketing. We contact, the relationship, we did a few articles about what we were doing. And then we sent a lot of food to different influencers and media to keep feeding and to be visualized all the time. To the point that after how we do it and how I like to do marketing is not, and this is important, at least it worked for me. I never do it in one shot. I don't like to be a big event and you be visualized one day. I like to do it slowly, and you have different posts or different articles, over 2 to 3 months. So you are always in the word of mouth, or you are always, be seen somewhere in Instagram or social media. When we stopped to do that after a couple of months, the sales went down 60%. So we decided to every week send food maybe to around 2 people, someone who, we believe, it will have impact in our sales. And it works. Again, we went up or even more. So, we didn't need to spend too much money. Actually, sometimes you partnership with the food suppliers who can give you, some sponsor of food. But, in our case, is try to always be visualized, always. Spend, put a marketing budget for 2 to 3 times a week. Try to always be in somewhere. It really helped us a lot. The next step, it was to bring confidence and visibility at the same time. So we did something called private dining. We are lucky, again, you need to analyze yourself. With our strengths, we have different rooms in the restaurant. So we can provide private dining. I thought that the new dining will become a little bit more exclusive and people will want to see family and friends, but they are going to require for a safety space. What it might be more safety than a private room? Nothing can be more safety because they choose who wants to be with them and they are going to meet together. So this gives us, the the opportunity to start to get, clients to come back. They feel very safe. We were very kind and very out of hospitality, and this started to grow, and we start to get more and more and more people. And then in October, so this is the different step that we did: take away private dining, events opportunities. We have also built, as you can see in the photo, events, like we call it, our brand is call it curated boxes. So we put, from crazy box, tapas box, mix of both, multi-course menu and personalized menu. So you can choose. We give you a list of different things, and they can choose whatever they want. And we have every week 1 or 2 events that we handle through these curated boxes. So, and finally, in October 1st, the official opening of the restaurant. One of our key of success, flexibility. We never say no. Even sometimes right now, sometimes we need to say no because people come too late or they want to have 3 kinds of menus in the same table, but we explain. You don't say no because that's our policy. We say no because, well, right now we are short in staff, we are focused very much in all of the safety protocols, and to give you the best experience, we ask you please to order in advance or don't order different menus at the same time, but we never in a way that is a obligation. We just, ask them, please understand the situation, and, this is gonna be for better experience for everybody. So, challenging. Of course, if you do a wrong movement and the cost goes up, with the expenses that we can have in the restaurant, we can die automatically in 2 or 3 months. So we really need to, actually we check twice a week. We have 2 financial meetings where we check, everything that we are spending, how much is our cash flow. Most of the suppliers we pay now cash on delivery. So we have, because the online now transfer is much easy, and then we can control the all of the expenses, and that for us work very well. Delivery, we always have been working in delivery menu, never fail, because if something happens, if we go to a lockdown or whatever, it will be always one of our foundations to still keep money. So we always do a delivery, and we still invest in marketing there with dine-in simultaneously. And of course, encourage the confidence of our value customers in terms of safety. For us, it's very important to build the comfort, of the guys. If you put too many measurements and you make the person don't come to dine in anymore, they want to dine in. They want a great experience. They want to be happy. They want to forget about COVID. They want to forget about all of these things. And it's our responsibility not only to have everything safe for them, but also, make them feel comfortable. And that is the key, hospitality in the new COVID times. What we have done, of course, to where we are right now, and I will explain, we do constantly training. So every week we have 2 safety responsibles. One is in the kitchen, our sous chef, Victor, and one is in the service that he oversees everything. So their responsibility is to make sure, that both parts from the house and back of the house are controlled, plus our HR when they come. So hygiene practices, delivery stations, sanitation area, regular handle of safety and hygiene measurements, strict implementation and evolution of safety measurements. Okay, so this is what we do. Nothing from the staff, nothing from the street goes inside of the restaurant without sanitation. We have 2 big bathrooms. One of them we accommodate for our changing room and locker room and sanitation room. So we explain that to so we have a big space with 2 cubicles where we can clean our hands. So everybody goes, change, clean the hands, every day, new uniform, new shoes. Well, the shoes doesn't move from the restaurant. They go in, clean, and get in the restaurant. All the food delivery goes inside. We have a delivery area, everything sanitized. All vegetables raw, they go to a sanitized solution that we have that allows, to eat everything raw, like tomatoes, seafoods, everything. So anything from outside goes inside of the restaurant without get sanitized. Then things that make people feel very comfortable, we have a automatically dispenser in each table. So that means that people can clean their hands anytime. We do every 2 weeks antigen swab tests. We have UV box everywhere. To everything that goes to the dishwasher area goes to the UV box. Each place that goes out of the kitchen, we will put a little bit of sanitize. So we make sure that everything that goes to the table is sanitized before to get there. Blue air technology. We have the blue air purifier that is the highest technology used in all of the hospital. We have like 5. So in each room and in the big rooms we have 2. I believe, and then we have as our sanitized stations. We clean our hands, before we touch every plate and after we touch their plate. In that way, we protect ourselves, because when you touch a cutlery or you take a glass, you can get infected. So they have to clean their hands. When the plate comes from the kitchen, before they serve to the guests, they have to clean the hands. So all of this, there are measurements that we keep doing all the time. Hold on a second. So I will be quick because I think we need to leave some time for a quick video to see what we do, and it's not only about it's about experience and about safety. Okay, so very important. I think I would like to give a good advice. Don't forget to be as much safety protocols and measurements for the protection of the guests and your staff and your team, but also don't forget that people go to a restaurant to feel comfortable and to have an experience. If we don't balance both things up, okay, we might probably don't be successful. I hear a lot of people who goes to restaurants and don't feel comfortable at all because it's too much on the face. Okay, make things that they feel safe, but don't that it will not disturb the experience as well neither. Okay, so I think this is important for us. Again, we are doing pretty well, and of course we have less tables and we do it in the different way as before. We always like to say that we make the dining experience a therapy for your soul. People we are social animals. We need to be with other people. We cannot travel. We cannot do anything, but they can go to restaurants, guys. Let's take that advantage, okay? People is the only thing they can do in these days with all the traveling or whatever is go to restaurants. So let's take that advantage and let's make them, feel special. Let's then forget about COVID. Let's then, have an amazing time. Do whatever do we best. Take care of our guests, okay? And that I think, is for me is one of the things that we are doing, and it's, we are being successful. Change the business model. I'm going to tell you that if everything goes well in my major plan, we might end doing more money that we used to do before. Why? Because, okay, now I have a delivery menu that I don't have, and I have everyday orders that it can go from 20,000 to 100,000. I can do, so it's one more revenue point. Then my dining room, we have an events space room. I have it events once a week, maybe 40, 50 people. But now I have it mostly every day at table there who wants to have a private dining with the families or with the friends. And then I do small weddings as well because the people like, so we, my wife also works in the industry, 16 years in Shangri-La in events, and she have been able to tag, weddings, and we're having small weddings. So I have another point of revenue. Then we, right now also we do, the average ticket is a little bit higher. People drink more. They like to have more drinks. So when I put all of this together, I can, and then very important, we do events online. We create these boxes where we handle, corporates or social birthday parties or whatever. So if you see now, I have more point of revenue that I used to have before, okay? All of these points I have been implementing one by one, not in once, like baby step. Sometimes you need to adjust, but again, have plans to see what you can do in a long term and go one by one. If that one doesn't work, tweak it or remove it, or have a different approach how to do it. But again, look always for opportunities. Make a small objective that, it will make your mind of yourself and your team busy and motivated. So, it's all about motivation, yourself, your team, and be creative. I have 2 new concepts coming, and I think one of them is going to be amazing. It's where I have been spending most of my time lately. It's called Deli by Chele. It's a deli of everything we have developed on our test kitchen, from breads, pastrami's, charcuterie, cheeses, kombuchas, sausage, all kind of preserves, everything done with sustainable local products. Okay, it's gonna be online deli, and it's something that is completely new, and I think it's gonna be a big success. People who try it, they love it. And then also burn bar cheesecake by Chele Gonzalez, that is gonna be a business handled by my wife. We started in the restaurant. It's so people love it. It's an authentic recipe from the Basque Country when I was living there. And now my wife is going to have a test kitchen. We're going to do it as a home family business. And there are more opportunities, Just this is the end of the presentation from all of our team. We want to say thank you very much and just share, this news with you. I just want to motivate you, give you reasons to keep going. Put in your mind, these small baby steps, it really works, and have a major plan, maybe change, maybe not, but let's keep going.
Thank you, Chele. That really is impressive. And I'm not saying that in terms of the audience, just because I'm a good friend of Chele's, but the amount of protocols you put in to augment and to supplement the innovation in terms of your business menus and your plans is so rare and so motivating, right? So there are a couple of questions now from the audience, so let me go through them. The first question is going to be, I guess I have to qualify this a bit. What kind of specific food are people looking to, are people preferring to buy during the pandemic in your upmarket casual dining? That's what I would add, right? So there are other people that like a la carte, upmarket, upscale dining. So, but what is the market now sort of looking for?
Again, you need to analyze who you are. Key. First, what is your identity and what do you do? And then try to understand what the market needs. We need to understand COVID market is in complete evolution. So for sure, delivery is going to be there. There are a lot of people, olders, that they don't want out of home. In our case, again, we talk about what do we think, it's like, okay, I knew before I sent it out that the gallery a la carte is not going to work because people, it doesn't look for that. But I know that Filipinos love Spanish food. So let's do something authentic, soulful, nothing pretentious, food that I cook with my wife at home, cook that I grow, cooking with my mom, well done, good ingredients, and it was really a success. Now, I also understand that people goes, and that was always part of my plan. People goes because they want to have, maybe they don't go, if people go 5 times a week before, they go once. Because they need to see friends, they need to see family, they need to drink, they need to, they need to release themselves, I do it too. I drink more wine than ever in my life before. But, it's because, we need to have, this kind of, of release, and right now I meet with friends, and try to find, learn more about wines. But yes, people go less. So you need to be more exclusive and provide an experience, okay? People is looking for that. Again, it can be more comfort food, it can be more fine dining, it can be more, whatever, but make the food, whatever anybody do, that is, an experience and it's something that is going to be comforting, but at the same time, make them feel that they're out of their houses and they're taking care and, they want to come back because, they have an experience.
Sure. And I guess the other point too is that, in terms of your own works, you always had a brand quality and brand integrity to whatever you did before COVID. So during the COVID times, or what we're in now, that brand creation, the brand integrity has spilled over into what you're doing now. So people are more willing to look to see what you're doing. So bravo. Another couple questions from Ian Reyes. The first one would be, would you mind sharing your contingency plans in case a few staff get infected with COVID, I guess?
Yeah.
And what do you feel are if one of your staff unfortunately gets affected by COVID, what is the long-term reputation risk that you would go through?
Okay, so I think by law, and when you open the restaurant, one of our obligations of a restaurant is to prepare a contingency plan. So if someone get infected, what is going to happen. So that is prepared by our HR and 2 safety managers. So what will happen is if someone get COVID, automatically that day we close the restaurant. We don't announce, and then everybody have a swab test to be the results as soon as possible. In the case that it's only that person, and nobody else is infected, we call an external company to make a complete sanitation, and we go back to work, maybe in 2 days. And in that sense, we will keep it, internally, because we want, to make sure, that we can keep operating. So close the restaurant, everybody swab test. If nobody else is infected, call external company, do a full sanitation, go back to work in the 3rd day. So that is the protocols. If every is more than 2 people or 3 people infected, we had to do a quarantine in 40 days or 14 days. And then they have, several swab tests during those times. So that is, our protocols. Everything what we do is really on paper. People who have, responsibilities about that. In this case, is more HR. So yeah, we have a partnership with High Precision, where we can send people. But anyways, we do every 2 weeks, swab tests as part of our regular protocols. If someone feels sick, for example, or whatever, we don't allow that person to come and have to take a swab test automatically. Anybody who is hired new, before they start to work, they take also a swab test. So we have a lot of measurements in place, but no, for protect ourselves as well, the rest of the team, the business, the clients, yeah.
Thank you. And I think for the audience, right, I think what you've heard from Chele during the presentations and just now is that with their business, right, they have raised the requirement of protocol and health to the same level and attention as the innovation of food, right? So it's no longer that in terms we can take for granted health issues or hygiene issues or staff issues, right? Right now, it is just as important, if not more important. So it's given the requirement, the respect that it has always deserved. So in that case, I believe that not only with Chele, but all the other industries or businesses that are open now, the hygiene issues are much better treated. So
I want to say something that is very important. And this might be you to understand where we are. Me as a chef, I have been implementing during the time I was working in Sofitel, we implement HACCP, and when I was in Shangri-La, we were implementing ISO. So I have a big knowledge about what is food safety and how things can get contaminated. I think the responsibility that we have, whoever we manage a restaurant, is not put protocols there that, no, we need to teach people. For example, I'm going to put, 2 samples. 2 key people who have completely training and checklists, the dishwasher and the utility. If those 2 people don't understand, and I think sometimes the problem of how COVID can be, not taken care of properly is because the person who is going to do those jobs, they don't understand how the COVID can be split. For example, if my utility or your utility or anybody, touch their hands or whatever, and instead to clean can spread. So we put a lot of effort in those key persons, to make sure that they understand, they clean their hands. When I see him, it's like I checklist. Okay, what do you do today? You arrive, you clean your hands. Okay, when you remember, when you go from one task to the other, you clean your hands. What is your sanitizer station? Remember, you have to put alcohol every 5 minutes and clean your hands with soap every 30 minutes. Keep repeating every day. Identify risk points. What is the most risk points in your restaurant? And then do actions and do training. Make people understand, not the chef who probably knows about that, but the people who is under what they had to do. Because if they don't understand what they had to do and you just give up checklist and they don't understand what that checklist means, it's not going to work.
Absolutely. Okay. From a question from Mika. Hi, Chef. Maybe you can share some tips on how we can package to-go meals that will give our customers the complete experience, even having our food in their homes.
Well, this is a challenge. This is a challenge for me too. Okay, we do. We use sustainable packaging. That is, how do you say it? It's not like plastic, it will be easy to recycle. It's beautiful and people love it and keep the temperatures very well. But of course, when you do a menu, it's very important to understand there are dishes, no matter how beautiful is the package, is gonna suffer in quality. A steak will suffer in quality. So what we do now is, for example, if we send a steak, we have a grill, a Josper oven, we unsear, get all the smoke, we didn't rare, and then the instructions, it will be, put it in the oven for 5 minutes. You want it medium rare, or if you want it medium, make it 8 minutes or whatever. At that sense, they can finalize and keep the quality. But many people don't like to cook at home. If we ever are going to do those steps, it has to be minimum step. For example, other thing I learned over the time, callos, or fabada, or something that is soupy. if you tell them, put a little bit of soup, water, boil it, maybe, you know, they put too much water, oh, it's bland, or we reduce too much. So what we do is vacuum back, and we tell them, throw it in boiling water for 5 minutes, open it, and it's exactly the same that it was in the restaurant. So there are a lot of tips, you know, that we can do. And also, you know, our work, you know, we are also consultants, you know, and we can help a lot of people to also, you know, we have been successful in what we have been doing, be creative, you know, and try to, you know, the key is make dishes that it can be good for transportation, and if not, find an option that it will be easy for the people to reheat at home. We did it very cool with QR code and, you know, tutorials. People want something simple. They want to eat good, but don't complicate my life. That's why I'm paying you.
Okay, great point. Thanks, Chef. And I think the other point there, just to restate one of the great points Chef made, is you need to make sure that whatever food you are serving that is a to-go can travel well also, right? Because as he says, some items will be great in a restaurant, but in 20 minutes or 25 minutes or 30 minutes of travel time are just going to degrade, despite all your best efforts. All right. Next question from Serena is, do you have any suggestions on which expenses we can cut while dealing with what's happening now? I guess she's looking for smart savings.
Yeah. Well, definitely for me, the smartest way to do is sit your team and make them understand where we are. You know, without the support of your team, because everybody's going to be affected, this will not happen. So you say, look, guys, you need to talk with the, you know, with the landlord. They need to understand that we are partners, and, you know, I cannot give you the same amount of the rent when I get the same amount of revenue. It will be unfair, and I will feel very unmotivated, you know. And probably the landlord will understand that nobody's going to invest in a new business in this time. Then you need to, so that is a big spend. Electricity, for example, right now we try to use only, you know, the air conditioner, whatever, when the guests come, or, you know, try to have a checklist. And again, what we do twice a week, we check the expenses. You know, every single thing had to be checked. You know, I'm not, you know, one of the person who like to do that, but I do it twice a week intensely. How much we are spending suppliers, how much, you know, everything. And then the big part is really the team say, okay, as much busy we are, we can call more people, but you are on call, guys. Try to be fair with your team. Try to give job as much as we can in a balanced way. Me, for example, I until last month, I didn't take my salary full, and I was working 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. But, you know, I know that, you know, if I put my full salary, numbers will not be. Now that we are doing much better and almost good, normal, I have been able to. So it's a sacrifice of everybody. That's why, sit your team, we all need to sacrifice. We all need to work as a team to make, you know, the business alive, because this is what make, you know, our families keep going. So, you know, it's a implication and responsibility of all of us.
Well said. I think the other thing that you did, it's sort of answering the question, but not as a cost, right? It's always been said in school academics that when do you spend money more on marketing is when times are bad, which is exactly what you did, right? So what was your thinking? Although why don't you share your thinking with the audience as to, you know, what made you decide that instead of saving money on marketing and social stuff, right, and related expenses, you decided to really go on a campaign and to make sure that you're always out into the market. So what made you make that switch?
Actually, you have a very good point, Meryl, and this is important that you give me the opportunity to explain this, because a marketing shouldn't be when you are about to die, then you will never make it. And that is how most of the people do marketing. We don't do marketing in that way. We do marketing as a part of our business model. So we always think, you know, and we already identified that when the sales were doing well, and then we stopped to invest in, and the investment is not that big. I'm very happy now. I have our own house. His name is Jack, that, you know, do everything with me. So he's very flexible, he's very creative, but he's multitask. So he does all of the design of the poster, photos, or whatever, the menus. He replied this, and you need people like that. You need people who really is with you, believe in the project, and help you all over. But so if you have someone with you, your expenses, I mean, how much at the end of the day, if you partner, like we partner with our suppliers, they give a sponsor of food. So, when you send to a media or whatever, or an influencer, your costs are very minimal. Be always smart, be creative, again, engage with your suppliers, with your team, and try to but do the marketing as a part of your business model. Not because things are wrong or you are dying or it will not work if you do marketing. And it happened to me in the past. Marketing had to be there. You had to fit the business. You need to be visualized. We are the only people can see you in these days is through social media and all of that. Invest in that because it's necessary for your business. It will make your business healthy.
Thanks, Chef. Another question for you. How do you balance now, for the diners, right? Okay. The question would be I'd like to know more about balancing comfort with application of the pandemic protocol. How do customers feel confident and comfortable? I guess confident is one, comfortable in another, in a dining experience, despite the social distancing and 50% dining capacity.
Okay. Sometimes it's about common sense and knowledge about what is necessary to have, safety measurements. And also as a guest, what would you expect to have this? For example, when I see, these plastic panels to a couple dinings, like, sorry, I would never do that. When I see videos of, people, like I see a video, I'm not going to say the brand of a hotel, but a hotel, 14 minutes just cleaning and cleaning this and cleaning that. It made me scared. I don't want to go there, with all PPEs or whatever. We have the responsibility to, study and if you cannot do it because there are limitations about your knowledge about food safety or safety in general, hire someone who knows. But, you need to analyze from, how we did it, from when people goes to the restaurant, from the staff. Okay, we want to minimize any risk. We don't want anything from outside inside of the restaurant. That is first. How is gonna people enter to the restaurant? What do we need to be able to ask for do sanitation? We need one bathroom. Because if we don't have a full bathroom with everything, we cannot sanitize ourselves. What else do we need? So you just make a checklist, of everything that it needs to be done. Okay, now when the clients have, of course, we have UV box, we have automatic sanitizers per station. So you go to your table and you find, your automatic alcohol there. Beautiful. Plus, it's just beautiful. They are elegant. I mean, how much it costs? 600 pesos. Okay, we have 20 tables. 6,000, 12,000. Is that a big investment or is a smart investment? And they will feel. Then we have, sanitization station for our waitress to clean the hands. Then we identify another, so before and after they clean the hands. Then, UV box. Why? Because, when things come through the washer machine and people touch it, let's put a UV box. Let's put another measurement to make sure that, all cutlery goes clean to the tables. In the kitchen, I train my team. Everything, clean your hands all the time. Have sanitize every 5 minutes. This is something that, you need to analyze your business and what you need. And sometimes the expense is not that much. But don't forget what, people need. People go to a restaurant because they want also to have an experience or feel comfortable. So who you are at the offer and the experience that you offer, you need to know about that. And don't sacrifice, be able to be smart and put both together.
Thank you. Our last question is, hi, Chele. Questions are about the antigen test. One, who does it for you?
Okay.
Where it's done? And then there's a couple of things. So who does it for you?
Okay, so we have our sister company is MDCC, Calmas. So we have a doctor and nurse that they work for because they have many employees. So they can doctor with a nurse comes. We have a different private room, so we habilitate one room. Each time, they buy everything in advance, the test kits and everything, and then they make one by one. Every time that the new person can, they change the globes, and we maintain because they are doctors and nurses. So we do it on house. We do it in one of our private rooms, and we do it every 2 weeks.
You do it for everybody?
Yeah, for everybody, from back office, utility, of course, every single body. Yeah.
And how long does it take to get the results?
The results is in a couple of hours, the same day.
Okay, great. Any
so
idea?
Before the doctor knows, they already told you.
Okay. Any idea on cost? How much is it running?
Around before we used the rapid test, it was the cost of the rapid test. It was around maybe 800.
Okay.
And now we use the swab rapid. So they do the same that they do in the hospital. That costs double, around 1.5. So probably, with the doctor come whatever, somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chele. And on that, I wanted, on behalf of the audience and ourselves, thank you. As I said before, what a treat, an honor, and very proud of what all that you and your team have done. Bravo. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you to everybody.
Take care. God bless. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you once again, Mr. Merrill Yu and Mr. Chele Gonzalez, for sharing your valuable time and knowledge with us. You can follow our presenters on LinkedIn for more insights about the hospitality industry. We will be back later at 3:30 for the Philippine Institute of Interior Designers lifestyle show entitled Femtabulous: Interiors for the Fairer and Fiercer Sex. Don't forget to check out hotel and restaurant suppliers in the exhibition hall. Today is our last live day. Also, to stay updated, follow our Facebook and Instagram page at Hotel Suppliers Show. See you later!